When you consider the unique aspects of human society, what is one thing that sets us apart from other animals? Is it our ability to create tools? Well, other animals such as chimps and corvids have both been observed doing the same. Is it our bipedal nature? Though forms of human gaits differ from other bipeds, birds still hop around, and other apes, like gibbons, still manage to walk around on 2 feet. However, we do have something that other animals do not have. We have the ability to create and replicate complex verbal and nonverbal communication. Languages. Whereas other animals may employ the use of calls to communicate emotion, or even use complicated warning signs, many have not been observed creating languages unique to a group, or learning languages from other groups. As far as we know, humans are some of the only beings that possess the ability to influence how we speak, to such an extent that we have devoted an entire study into understanding the use of speech and language and how it plays into society. And that is what we are going to talk about today. Today, let's explore the world of linguistic anthropology, an exciting career that delves into the languages of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Now, before we dive into the job of a linguistic anthropologist, it's important to understand what linguistic anthropology is. So let's establish the definition of the word and look at some examples together. Let's begin. As you can likely tell, the job of a linguistic anthropologist is comprised of 2 words, 2 essential parts that clue us in about what they do. First of all, linguistic refers to something pertaining to language. In other words, it is anything that relates to communicating via verbal or non-verbal cues. Language is something that we use every day, from drafting up a complicated letter to waving at a passerby on the sidewalk. Pretty simple, right? A linguist, therefore, is somebody who studies these subjects. They can be anybody from a person who studies various languages to a polyglot, somebody who's passionate about speaking multiple languages and learning them. Now, what about an anthropologist? Well, anthropology is the study of humanity, human beings, and everything that involves them. There are lots of different kinds of anthropologists. Biological anthropologists who study the human body, cultural anthropologists who study cultures and how they are created, and criminal anthropologists that can help conduct crime scene investigations. Lots of others, too. So, to put these 2 words together, what do you get? Linguistic anthropologist, a person who specializes in studying the function and creation of languages in human societies. It's a pretty doggone cool job. But although we know what a linguistic anthropologist is, now we need to find out what they do. Well, they study language for starters. Yeah, it may sound silly and obvious, but that's the basis of the job. And although that doesn't sound specific, there are many methods that are used for breaking down languages. In circumstances where languages are not widely spoken anymore and are considered dead languages, an anthropologist commonly will dedicate the majority of their studies to reconstructing that language. Much of this is done in the form of written works, although reimagined pronunciation by listening to speakers of similar language or listening to verbal references can work as well. Linguistic anthropologists also visit communities that practice speaking either obscure or endangered languages that can help raise awareness about these cultures in an anthropological community. Now, the job of a linguistic anthropologist is closely tied to the lives of other individuals and communities. So, how important is the role of good communication and speech? To put it very simply, it's very important, perhaps even essential, that one have a comprehensive understanding of how to speak and otherwise present clearly and precisely to others. In order to share information, it is important that an individual be well versed in the art of communication. Interpersonal signals may vary from person to person, but there are some things that are more universally useful. Like speaking confidently and clearly. Now, there are some factors in language that are widely applicable in human communication regardless of the setting, though variations do exist. In many societies, the use of speech play, manipulations of speech such as the inclusion of jokes, riddles, rhymes, proverbs, or some other deliberate employment of manipulation can serve to deepen or illustrate a point. It's a common practice. According to Joel Scherzer and Anthony Webster at the Oxford Handbook, for linguists, speech play provides insight into linguistic structure by revealing the ways in which various elements of language can be manipulated in different contexts. There are other methods to speechcraft that can help a speaker when harnessing the audience's attention. Learning to fidget less when speaking is consistently viewed as polite in many cultures. It can also aid in an individual retaining more information, honing your attention, and helping to reduce distractions. It can also reduce the time that it takes to share information, which is crucial to audience attention. Alan Kingstone from the Department of Psychology in Vancouver states that, critically, as predicted, fidgeting also increased the time on task. We also found that relation between fidgeting and retention was significantly even, even when the role of the attention was factored into the equation, suggesting that fidgeting makes a unique contribution to the retention of lecture material. It is important to adapt to situations and to audiences. Culminating fundamental skills that can help improve communication is always nice. In conclusion, the role of linguistic anthropology is one of great fascination and is very closely intertwined with speech and communication. To help all of you understand a bit more of the career of a linguistic anthropologist, we broke down the definition together. We peppered in some examples to help flesh out a clearer picture and share some information regarding what kinds of things a linguistic anthropologist can do. Lastly, I told you about the impact of a fundamental understanding of solid communication in this line of work. With that being said, I hope that you've come away learning something new and finding something interesting. Who knows? Maybe in the future, you may be drafting up a work that will be viewed on for generations. And if you do, I look forward to seeing it. P.S. By the way, if you are interested in learning a bit more about languages, whether they are endangered, obscure, or just really cool, check out the YouTube channel I Love Languages. With that being said, thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.